Hello, I am Lizzy with Long Distance Gamers. We are a group of friends who play games remotely due to us living in different states. Today I am talking about One Card Wonder. What do I think about it? And more importantly, how do we play it remotely? Now before we get started, there are two different sides. The side running the game, also known as the runner side, they for sure have a copy of the game and they play the game mostly like normal. The remote side may or may not have a copy of the game. We will be going over how the remote side sets up and how the remote side responds to the game. One last thing, what you are about to see is a prototype, so bear in mind that the component quality is a little bit lower than standard production, as well as the artwork and other things are not finalized. So this is One Card Wonder setup for remote play. The running side has determined which 4 of these has come out, as well as the 4 sets of resources. Now there are plenty to choose from, so the variability with this is fairly high. The rest of the components you set up in just stacks of what they are, as well as you give every player their own buildings. The running side then will hand these out, 2 to every side. They'll just refer to them by their names: Night and Day, Prepare for War, Bread and Circuses. So I get these 2 for instance. And then if you are playing with the Leaders expansion, you would just randomly give one of these out. Again, the running side would just determine which one you get. So if I get this one for instance, I would just pull him out of my stack and put him face down. I would leave the rest of these stacked to the side, so that way I can pull them out during game when they are revealed. Whoever is starting player, so say Kitty is starting player, we would go in reverse player order for determining these. So Brixby, so if he has Night and Day, for instance, as one of his, he might want something that needs a lot of stone. So he might choose this one because this one needs a lot of stone, but he doesn't start with any. So you could pull up this one, and then he'll say that he is choosing his Night and Day one. And then I would choose next. And considering my daily life has this cool ability where I can turn 2 of any into 2 of the same, I'll go ahead and take this Temple of Apollo because there's a lot of doubles in that one. So I'll take Triumph and put it to the side. And say Kitty has this one, Prepare for War. So she has an ability to get a lot of blue, so she will go ahead and take that one. And then these resources get returned to the supply, and this one gets returned to the box. The resources get put in their stocks. You can have a maximum of 8, which that is what each of these little holders is for. And on your turn, you have a few different actions you can take, which this board does detail them fairly well. So you could produce, you can pull 3 resources from the bag. You get to keep 2, and you place the 3rd in the supply, which would be in here. So the running side would of course be the ones to grab the 3 out, and then you would just say which 3 you want to do. For claim, you can take all the resources of one type from the supply. So if there are 5 knowledges in here, you could go ahead and grab those, and then you would put them on your board as well. You could build, so you could pay any amount of resources. So if I had 2 stone, I could build it. I would turn the stone into the supply, and I'll place one of these white cubes on the space that I just built. You could also, if I had 2 stone, 2 of the knowledge, and 2 of the clay, I could build this entire section with just 1 action. So it does benefit you to stockpile your resources a bit. For building, you would just have to make sure that you build the ones underneath before you build the ones on top. So each of these little things point up to the one that is built on top of them. Also, when you're building up these, you can choose to build one of these. You just spend that resource and you put one of these obelisks on whichever one of the support buildings you want, whether it be the one that came with your wonder or the support buildings that came with your board. Just remember, you can only build 1 per build action. And then you could sell. You could return to the bag. You take 1 coin per matching resources. So you could turn in 2 clay and get 1 coin, or 2 iron to get 1 coin. And then these coins do have sometimes specific costs. For instance, to build this support building, I would need a resource of my choice as well as a coin. It also has another use of being just a normal resource. So if I had already built this one and I only had the one green, I could do a green and a coin and turn those in and then be able to place in that location. Whenever you want to reveal your leader, you would just say, okay, I'm revealing my leader, and you will say what it is that it does, as well as the cancel ability. So the other players could choose to combine 2 coins out of their resources to be able to cancel you from being able to do this action. If they do pay the cancel ability, that goes directly into your stock. So you want to pay close attention to what other people have as well as your own resource space. The game continues on until someone has built their entire wonder by covering up all of these locations. As soon as someone has done that, they win and the game is over. And you can complete a wonder without ever completing one of these support buildings. The only thing that matters is whether or not all of these are covered at the end of the game. So that is how you play One Card Wonder remotely. As you can see, it is not very difficult. The only thing that I would do if you are the only side with a copy is once everyone has decided, go ahead and take a picture of both of these and their leader card. If they have one, just make sure while you're looking at the leader card to take the picture that you're squinting, so that way you can't really see what it is. If this is your first time playing remotely and not everyone has a copy, I would recommend not playing with the leaders cards, just so that everyone can get a feel of the game while they're learning the remote play. Other than that, the only other thing would be sometimes specifying where you want to build. For instance, if I only have 2 stone, I might specify that I want to build on this side or this side because maybe I want the 2 green, the 2 knowledge next time. Or I might want the 2 brick. That would be the only time that I would really need to specify which one of these I am building on. And then I would just say I'm building it on the left side or the right side. This is a game that translates amazingly well to remote play with 1 copy or with multiple copies. So if you are finding yourself stuck at home, you want to play a game with your friends, but they're 6 hours away, you can pull this game up off the shelf. Even if they don't have a copy, you can play it. But until next time, have fun and be you. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you.